What is going on, everybody? I hope you are doing extremely well. I certainly am. I've had a wonderful day here in Japan, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about sound capture. Now, typically when I'm doing something like I'm doing now, which is just the webcam, the Yeti mic, and OBS, then I don't really have to worry about my audio because it's all being recorded as one. And if I was just using the camera with my Rode Video Mic Go on it, then I wouldn't need to worry about that either. If you're within arm's reach of the camera, then the Video Mic Go is a fantastic option. But if you stick the camera on a tripod and you want to move away from it, show things more than a few feet away, then it's an excellent idea to have the camera be your reference sound. I keep the Rode on there, and that's my reference sound, and then use something like this, my H4n, as your actual audio capture. Now, what I do here is I just take my lav receiver, plug it directly in just like that, and then I pull all of the audio from that. When it was me and another person doing things that I wanted to capture, there's a couple of videos like the build Jesse and I did together. You can see that above here. We each had a mic. So at that time I wasn't doing independent capture, so I actually had this entire contraption hanging from the camera. So that's two receivers going to their 1/8 to 1/4 to 1/8 adapters to this Y splitter into the camera, and the whole thing was just kind of looped over. So, and it functioned just fine, and it blended our audio together because it's all coming through one cable. But this is kind of a large, clunky setup, especially if you are going to be moving anywhere away from the camera where you might want the camera to see you, but you're going to be too far out of range for those lavaliers to pick up. So once again, that is where this comes in handy. This does have built-in microphones under my lovely little troll hair here. So what I do now for this, I've abandoned all the wires and everything like that. And since this has either 1/4 or XLR on the bottom here, I just plug one into the right channel, one into the left channel. There we go. And then in post-processing, I will copy 70% of the right channel over to the left and the left over to the right. So there's an emphasis on what channel you were on, but you can still hear it in both channels. So there's not some weird single ear per voice kind of thing, because that's what it would be otherwise. So there's a little extra work involved there and a little extra post-processing, but I think you get a lot cleaner sound. And in case this explodes or something like that, then you still have the reference sound as an emergency backup. Whereas if you were only using the mic on the camera, if one of those cables, there's 4 different points of failure there. If one of those cables comes loose during recording, the entire time, and I have lost so much video to that kind of thing. If the Rode just comes unplugged just a little bit, where it's making a little bit of contact, enough contact to tell the camera something's there, but not enough contact to actually give me sound, I will lose that entire clip, and it is devastating, and it typically ends up in either an exhausted reshoot that wasn't as good as the first time because I'm just not enthused about it the second time, or just video clips with voiceover. So what I'm going to show you guys how to do today in Premiere is take the audio from your camera as your reference, from your camera as your reference, and your audio from your external recorder, whether that be an actual external recorder, your phone, your computer like I'm using now. So I'm going to show you how to combine that video and that audio source, and how to sync them up, how to cut them up, and how to edit from that point. So I've got an entire video here that I filmed just today. So how I used to do this before I knew that it could be done automatically is I would take the video file here and I would take the audio file here, drop them both into the timeline, zoom way in, and then find manually a similar spot. Let's see, where's a similar spot? There's a reason why I stopped doing this. Oh my goodness. All right, so we've got a couple of peaks here with chop chop after them. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So that's my lineup right there. So manually finding that position to line up can be a little challenging because you've got to just kind of come in here, see what's similar. Okay, so I would consider that probably lined up. Yeah, we'll consider that lined up. So we're gonna listen to this really quick and we're gonna see what the audio sounds like. And you'll see that it's close, but there might be slight doubling as those tracks are gonna be about a millisecond apart. Little tightener knobs here are all basically just wing nuts, plastic wing nuts. They tighten extremely easily. I don't feel like they're gonna snap on me. Okay, so that to me sounds a little bit compressed, which it's not yet. So I could definitely tell the audio is off by a little bit. So we're just gonna listen to the reference audio first, and then we're gonna switch over and listen to the discrete audio. See if we can tell the difference between them and see which one is taking precedence over the other. So I'm going to mute the secondary track. And the little tightener knobs here are all basically just wing nuts, plastic wing nuts. So you can tell that that's the reference audio because it's super echoey and it's very it's very tinny. It's definitely, I would have to do some work on that if I was actually going to use that. In emergency, I certainly could recover it and utilize it, but as it is, it's pretty much just for reference. Now we're going to listen to just the lavalier mic and see what that sounds like. The little tightener knobs here are all basically just wing nuts, plastic wing nuts. They tighten extremely easily. I don't feel like they're going to snap on me, so you can definitely tell that that's a lot closer to me. It's a lot more bassy. It's a lot less echoey. There's still a little bit of that room noise in there, and I can get that out in post-processing. But you can tell that the lav is a vast improvement over my reference sound. So that's what we would use for this. So if I were to edit this as I used to, then I would have to go through, hold shift down every single time that I went through here, remove this. Let's see, okay, there we go. I don't want that piece anymore. And you'd have to go through and make sure that you're highlighting all of the tracks, because as soon as you highlight only the video tracks and then delete that, your audio is all off for the rest of the time. And you got to figure out what you did if you don't notice it immediately, and can't just Control Z out of it. So it's definitely doable, but it's much more of a process to do it. However, if we do it the lovely automatic way, I'm actually just going to delete this completely, then we will see that it is in fact about 100 times easier. So I'm going to select the same two clips here, hold down Control to select clip and then select clip, right click and then create multi-camera source sequence. So even though we're not using multiple actual cameras, we are using multiple sources. So this can be defined as an audio source or a video source, or obviously both. So in this case, we are going to go by audio. So we're going to name this one, whatever, scene one. Okay, and we are going to be synchronizing by the audio point. You could do this by in-out points if you want to do it manually. I've never really done it that way. I always have a my marker, so I can actually get a good slap at the beginning of each audio clip, so I can actually sync these automatically very easily. So we're going to go by audio, and the rest of this is just fine. Hit OK. Let's go to automatically process it for us. Now it's non-destructive, so it's going to take my clips and dump them into this process clips folder, so they're still there. And then scene one is going to go right here, and I already have a folder for multicam sequences. So we're going to take C1, drop it on here, and see what it looks like. And we're going to listen to it first. Any instability in it, it's also nice and thick. So you can tell already that this is the lavalier because it's got that deeper tone to it. It does have a little bit more compression on it than I would really like, so I'm going to have to play with it a little bit. But it's definitely got a lot better sound quality initially than the reference microphone did. So if you want to change which microphone is in use here, you will right click on the entire clip. You will unlink. And now that you're unlinked, you can double click on the sound file, and it's going to actually bring you into that scene 1. And this is what the computer did automatically. This is what Adobe did automatically. Lined everything up just like we did manually before, except for it did just a better job of it and a lot faster than having to search for contact points. So it automatically muted the reference audio, but it kept the discrete audio unmuted, so that's the sound we're actually using. Sometimes it chooses the wrong audio source, so all you have to do is come in here, unmute one, and mute the other one, and you'll be in good shape. But in this case, it did it correctly the first time, so we're good here. It's going to keep your timeline a little more compressed, but it's also going to be wildly easier than trying to do it all manually every single time. Because every single time that you accidentally move one of those little timelines but not the one underneath it, you got to go back and resync and find out what you did wrong. This way you're not going to really have to deal with any of that. So that is it, guys. I hope this was helpful to you. This is the way that you are going to sync your audio from multiple sources. You can also do it with multiple video sources. I do have a video on that, I believe. If I do, it'll be above me somewhere. Check that out as well if you'd like. If you do like this kind of content, you know where all the buttons are. Sub if you want, that'd be cool. If you have a better way of doing this, or if you've struggled through this kind of thing, leave me a comment and tell me all about it. I appreciate it very much. If this video helped you out, hit that like button. If it was the worst thing you've ever seen, you can hit the dislike button if you really want, or you can go check out some of my other content and maybe you'll like that stuff. So thank you as always for everyone popping by. We are headed towards 150 subs and I'm really excited about getting there. So thank you for everyone who has been jumping on board. I really appreciate all the support that you've been giving me, and stick around and there's tons more to come. Every 2 weeks we drop a video, so hit that bell too if you want to know when those drop. All that said, I'm going to bed. You all have a wonderful day, night, whatever it is for you when you're watching this, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.